All right, good evening. So I don't think there's anything to really say about myself. Most of the times people see me out and say, oh, you are the NY. I'm like, yeah, it's me. Like, what do you want to see? Like, what exactly do you want to hear? It's just me, just a young guy. Chami Kwame will say, "Benyina Shami Radio," something like that. But it's beautiful to be here tonight. This is something that I'm so passionate about, and so anytime I'm given the opportunity to talk about it, I just make sure that I go all out to share the knowledge that I have based on what I've read and the experiences I've had all over the years. So like you said, yes, my name is Ebenezer Donko. I work with YFM. I host Rise and Shine. That's every weekday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. I deal with music a lot, so I'm passionate about it, like I said. And I remember there's something that back on KNUST campus, one of our lecturers actually told us, and he said that you must have knowledge about almost everything, but then you should be very knowledgeable about something in particular. So if music is what I love to do, then I should be very particular and have almost every knowledge about music. Now, I don't know how many of us are musicians here. How many of us are musicians? Okay, awesome. The others also still have something to do with music, I presume. Yes. Now, growing up, I doubt it would have been a thing for you to say, I want to do music. Our parents loved music. They had their cassettes. And back then, you could see that player, long one, the one that plays the cassette, the other part that plays whatever. And they had it at home. But then, if you ever said you wanted to be a musician, I'm pretty sure they would drive you out of home. Because it's not something that they were thinking of as a passion, as a profession, I should say. You know, I always mention myself as well. I mean, when I completed SS, that's Kumaka, and my cousin Koja Kotobuating, who's now with CTFM, he was on Focus FM, KNUST. I was listening to him one weekend. I'm like, nah, I can't do what Akoto is doing. You know, he's a presenter, he's a DJ. I'm like, no, I can't do it. But back in school, I was the type everybody would run to and say, lawyer, lawyer, lawyer. You know, but I said, no, I think I can do this. And when I was done with SS, I told my dad that Focus FM was running a program where people who want to be presenters and DJs can actually enroll. I told my dad, he was like, no. DJs, they are affording, you know, those kind of things. That's what he said. Because, I mean, he'd had experience with people who are into the media industry and were doing, you know, all the other things that you talk about. So he's like, no, that's a no-go area. But luckily, my mom actually allowed it. I remember my mom actually going to pay for me to actually go in there. Now today, there are times I'm on radio and my dad is listening and sends me a message, say, now boy, and the pass, you know, and there are times I can hear, you know, conversations in the back. He wants people to know, say, radio, you know, that's how it is. At times, you need to be defiant of what you want to do before society will approve of you or accept you for what you do. Now, this is just by the by. I've been given a topic to speak on, and that is music as a business. First and foremost, let me say thanks to the organizers for actually inviting me to do this. And congratulations to Derek. I've not seen him before, but for today. Luckily enough, I think Dr. Jima. Yeah. Dr. Jima actually sent me your song, and I've been playing it on YF. And when I heard it, I was like, is he Nigerian or something? I think that's the Palanga song, right? Yeah, I think you've got a very beautiful song, and I'll do my best to push it on radio and any other platform I can. Yes. So let's get to the topic. Music as a business. One thing is that music in itself is not business. Music in itself is not business. I'm sure somebody will say, how? Because I see people making money out of music and all that. Yes, there's a business to the music. There's a business to the music that you are doing, and that's where we will be focusing on today. Now, music is a craft, is an art. There's a reason why people do music and they don't make money, but they are fulfilled. They are satisfied. At times you sit back and say, he has a very good song. He has what? How come he's not blowing up? How come he's not doing that? The individual is really satisfied doing the music. He's not considered the business side to it. Maybe he has something else he's doing, and that makes him the money. But he still wants to invest in the music. Not even thinking of returns, but that makes him happy. So music in itself is an art. It's a way of expressing ourselves. It's part of our culture. It's part of everything that we do. You can talk of our traditional stuff, like talk about Menchia. There's always music, right? The drums and all that, they communicate. It's always been with us. And there's no way it's going to change. If you check on history from way back when our fathers and mothers were captured and all that, they found ways to communicate through music. They found ways to communicate through their arts. And music has been with us since then. So if you talk about music, if you're out here today and you're thinking, okay, I'm a musician, how come I'm not making money? Maybe you are focusing on the music and you are forgetting the other side of the business, which can actually generate the money for you. Now, I wouldn't speak for too long. I'm just going to make it very brief. Now, anytime you identify a solution to a problem, you are creating a business. Anytime you identify a solution to a problem, you are creating a business. Let's cast our minds back to last year when COVID was, COVID is still with us, but when COVID was all over, you realize that you couldn't actually step out. You couldn't go everywhere you wanted to go like typically you would do. Even those in America and all that, that was when Amazon and all those delivery services became a big one. Because now you'd have to order online for somebody to bring it to you. They saw the business in it, in that, listen, people can't step out any longer, so why don't we create a platform where we can actually deliver the things to them? So if you check the statistics, their business over 10s actually doubled, others quadrupled, because they had found a solution to a problem at that time. Now, music is something that people want all the time. Imagine you tune into YFM. We are known as the music station. You tune in from morning till night, and it's all talk. How would you feel? Yes, it will be stressful. There are talk channels. Okay, there are channels that are just about talk. They have their audience. But you see, imagine you wake up, you go through all the stress throughout the day, and at times you just want to listen to some music. And music is very powerful. You might be down, you hear a particular song, and all of a sudden you feel good. Music communicates. One time I told somebody on radio that if you ever date a DJ, you should be prepared for anything. Because when you make the DJ happy, he can actually do a whole playlist that will celebrate you. Now, when you make him angry, he can actually get a whole playlist that will actually get you sad as well. I'm pretty sure there are times if you are listening to radio and you hear a particular song like, hey, I say, and then I say, it happens. That's the power of music. So let me get back to the thing. Now, music is something everybody needs. We all need music. That means there's a business to it. You can make money by actually fulfilling or filling that space that somebody is having. Somebody needs the music. You have it. Now, every business runs on some principles. Every business. One of them is identifying the need, which I've talked about, which everybody needs it. You need a solution to a problem. So everybody needs music. So when you're a musician, it means you have created a solution for a problem. Now, how do we identify who needs that music? Or the solution you've provided, who needs it? How do you identify the person? Now you'd have to market yourself. Every business, DSTV even markets itself on other platforms. I'm pretty sure you've seen a DSTV ad on TV3 and you're saying, a whole DSTV. Yes, Facebook, it advertises itself on Facebook and other platforms. So as a business, you would have to keep advertising. That's where you as a musician come in by promoting your music. Now, when you do the best of music and you keep it in your shelf or you keep it in your studio folder, nobody hears it. It stays with you. Today, so he was talking about Payola and all that. Back then, I remember myself and DJ Slim, we would walk all the way to Capital Radio. You wouldn't have access to enter. So you would just stand behind the wall. We want to see Lavin C. And they wanted to see, may his soul rest in peace, Heavy D. We are so passionate about music. We wanted to see them, wanted to see the people who speak on radio. I remember when Obrafour's album was out, and I had this cassette recorder. You had a red button. When they are playing the music, they try to record. Then DJ Nick Kasa will say, shit, what's I do? Because you wanted to hear the music, but DJ Nick Kasa no break here. That's how passionate we were back then. We wanted to see who were the ones doing that. Now you will see musicians drive in, and their producers drive in, the likes of Bandex and all that come through. They pay monies to get their music promoted. Luckily today, you don't necessarily need to go see a radio station or go see a DJ to get your music out there. The internet is making things very easy for everybody. You can talk about the likes of Justin Bieber. What happened? Like Derek was doing here, performing. His mom had actually set the camera, the phone to him, and he was just playing. The mom recorded it, posted it on YouTube, boom. That was the beginning of his career. Record labels were fighting over him. So like Derek was doing here, I'm pretty sure somebody filmed it. Now the person puts it out. And people are like, who is that guy? He's good. People start checking him out. Before I realize his numbers are running up. Now record labels also want to sign people who have the numbers already. Because they don't want to invest in somebody where they will have to put in too much money now. It's too much stress for them. Do you get it? So when you have the material, you would have to now promote it. From late last year till now, or was it early this year, Kumasi, we had the whole Asaka movement. Now, when it started, people said it was going to die, it was a fluke, and all that. So many comments. Of course, when you introduce something new, it will meet opposition. I keep saying that Kumasi, for instance, we are like London. We are conservatives. It's tough for us to accept something new. It takes a long time before we agree to it or we want to adapt to it. People said so many things. But what happened? The people realized that there was the need for it, there was the demand for that music. And so they started really hitting hard at that point, and they had the audience. So you do music, but have you asked yourself, what kind of music do my audience need? Are they the ones who like my music? In Ghana, if you pick somebody like Riala, pick somebody like Senaso, pick somebody like Amare, who is currently one of the hottest artists in the world. But how many Ghanaians even know Amare? How many Ghanaians? Simply because perhaps her music is not the kind of music we will want to listen to. Radio has made it that all the songs will have to be king, 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 the ones we want to dance. So when you're not doing that, it means you're not falling in line. But then there's an opportunity for you out there with regards to the promotions. Now Facebook is there, Twitter is there, TikTok is doing the magic for almost everybody. How many of you know Kiddy's song, Touch It? Yes. Touch It has gone worldwide. It's been on the Billboard charts. And what happened is because he started a campaign on TikTok. So still talking about the promotion. You have your music all right. The music is not the business. The business side to it is what we are looking at. You have the content, which is more like the product. Now, how do you promote that particular product? You work on the promotions. There are lots of opportunities with regards to music. That's how I'll end it. But I just want us to know the process, just like any business, what you go through. Now you have the material, started with promotions. What happens? The music catches fire. Everybody is talking about it. I'm sure you've heard songs which are so popular that you know the song, but you perhaps don't even know the artist. Right? Not too long ago, there's this guy from Nigeria, CK. He had this Love Wanting thing. It's been on the Billboard Global charts for a number of months now. It's rubbing shoulders with the likes of Drake and all those people. Interestingly, that song features Kwame Eugene. But ask yourself, all the celebrations and everything is about CK. Nobody is mentioning Kwame Eugene. It's not like Kwame Eugene is not popular. But you see, what is it doing? The song is going, CK is taking advantage. He released a live version of it, posted it on YouTube, and in a matter of 3 days, it had accumulated over 10 million views. And this is because somebody actually posted it on TikTok. If you're a musician here, look out for all the other venues you can use in promoting your music. I'll tell you a story of Mr. Easy. I mean, I was with him on KNUST campus. I saw a number of things. Mr. Isaac on campus was selling Coke and all those things, like Coca-Cola and those that ice cream. These were the products he was selling on KNUST campus. His very first single, I remember, I recorded at PVSL Studio, Bantama. That song, and Dusty had to force him to record it. I remember he put together a show for Nigerians, and he actually paid Sarkodie to come perform. When Sarkodie came, he wanted to perform with Sarkodie. It never happened. Because, I mean, back then, Sarkodie is there. You know what I mean? And a student from KNUST campus, you don't know you want to perform with Sarkodie. It didn't happen. But today, he's one of the biggest, should I say, music stars from Africa. He's not just doing the music. He's doing the business. He's behind a lot of artists, from the likes of DJ Neptune to whoever. He's the one behind them, financing them, making sure the song gets to where it's supposed to get to, and all that. But how many of us know about that? Maybe you see him, he's been quiet. You're not hearing music from Mr. Easy and you say, "Challenge." No, he's in the back doing the thing. So the promotion is very, very important. So when you start your music, don't treat it as, okay, if you want to do just the music, fine. But if you want to do the business side way, just like any other business, one, identify the need. Two, you need to promote it. Now, when you promote it and you find your right target audience, make sure you move to them. I made mention of Mr. Easy. I remember before he started putting all those big concerts, he said he wanted to do a show and wanted only 67 people. I mean, it was weird. You want to do a show, you want only 67 people. What's the concept behind it? He says, listen, I just want to create an ambience, a room full of people who can sing my song word for word. There were people who wanted to go, but he said, listen, I want to do 67. And they restricted to 67. Now, he gave them a performance, an experience. When they left, his next show, he was selling out thousands. To the extent that he actually brought Rick Ross to Ghana to come and perform at his event. So there's a lot to it. Now, in promoting your music, somebody will ask, okay, apart from the TikToks and all that, how do I even make money from my music? That's where the other business side comes in. There are a lot of digital platforms, distribution platforms. There are a lot of platforms. You can actually go on with YouTube, where you can, I mean, Derek was saying that you can go there and run his numbers up for him. You can put it on iTunes. You can use TuneCore or Detour or all these platforms to actually distribute your music. And that's how you can make money from. Now, these platforms, when you put them there, you don't just make money. There are millions of songs online. So how does someone find your song to stream? That's where the promotion comes in. Now, you as a musician, I'll tell you a story of Ochame Kwame. They've told me my time should be running up, but I think I've not spoken about all the things I was supposed to say. Ochame Kwame told me something years ago, and it's always been with me. As a musician, you have a product, which is the music. Now, you will not always be the hottest artist. That means you can't always be making money from your music at that time. But you as an individual, how are you positioning yourself? When was the last time Ochame Kwame had a hit song? Maybe Yeko with Kwame Eugene. Early this year, right? He released a Made in Ghana album, solid body of work. But things didn't happen because of COVID and all that. Now you ask yourself, how does Kwame still stay relevant? If you've paid attention, Kwame has positioned himself as a family man. So anytime any company wants to run something that has to do with family, they'll run to Ochame Kwame. Have you paid attention? That's how he's positioned himself. He said, listen, NY, your music is the product. Now, the very moment that music is not the hottest commodity on there, something else should be selling. And that should be your personality. Why would people want to pay to come to your event? A lot of artists don't give experiences anymore. The last time somebody told me, oh, Charlie Shatawale is performing at the stadium, I'm like, I won't go. So, okay, it's Saturday, I won't go. You know why? Because I've seen them over the years, and they put up the same performances. Nothing new. So when I go, I'm going to just listen to what I've been playing on radio. Until you are giving me an experience, I wouldn't want to come pay and watch you. So you, as an individual, you would have to position yourself in such a way that brands can now work with you. Kwame usually works for a number of brands, right? From mobile phones to whatever. And listen, when you talk about the brand positioning, for instance, where your music is making you become that brand ambassador. Some Lynx has Kwame Eugene and Kiddy. They've looked at their brand positionings. Kitty has a certain target audience. It's more like the girl them lover. He's more like, the sugar daddy. Exactly. Those, the girls like him. Kwame Eugene is more like the bad boy. So when the brands come in, they know who to sell who to. Kitty is an ambassador for Samsung. Kwame Eugene is an ambassador for what? itel. Look at both phones. Not to demean anybody, but the brands, they know themselves. I mean, iPhone, I said iPhone. Samsung is for a certain class of individuals. And itel is for masses. You feel everybody can afford it. Kwame rolls with those people. Kitty rolls with a different class of people. So you as an individual, what does your music position you to be? So look at it. You can make money from your streaming platforms. You can make money from actually speaking at seminars because you have an in-depth knowledge of what you do. You can actually put stuff online. You can make money from becoming a brand ambassador or speaking for brands and actually being associated with brands. So there are lots of opportunities when you decide to do music. Just don't fall for anything because you feel this is the hottest thing. That's what everybody is doing. And no one there costs eventually you might lose your relevance. And the very moment you lose your relevance, that's it. Sarkodie doesn't have the biggest song all the time. But last year when they were doing the VGMAs, he was voted the artist of the decade. Simply because almost every year he comes in with one big song, or it's either he's still relevant in the industry. So he still maintains that. And that's what you need to do as an artist. Starting off as an artist is difficult. I won't tell you a lie. I won't tell you a lie. The last time I spoke at a Ditto conference, and I told them, listen, somebody said, oh, when I start music, I just put it on Audio Mac. Sorry, I'm stealing your time small.
It's not my time at all.
He says, I just put the music on Audio Mac. And I'm like, Audio Mac doesn't pay. So why do you think you want to put it on? Say, I want people to listen. I want to be popular. I'm like, oh, okay. So that for him, that is he's not thinking about the business side. But we are thinking about the business side. Right from the word go, make sure the song is on digital platforms where you are getting paid, even if it's just a single stream. You know why I'm saying this? Now, this guy who put a song on Audio Mac later on came to complain because somebody had downloaded a song from Audio Mac and put it on the digital stores and was rather making money. Now he wants to go back for his music. Are you going to Apple Music or you are going to Tidal to take it down? How do you confirm that, yes, the music is yours? So right from the word go, make sure you are putting your music where it's going to fetch you money. I talked about CK's music, Love One Ting Ting. When the song was released like 2 years ago. The song started blowing this year. It was released 2 years ago. It started blowing this year and making all the numbers, getting into the Grammys and all that. So we need to pay attention. No matter when you are starting, make sure you start right. So far as you think about the business side to your music, start right and eventually it will pay off. It might not pay off today. There's something I tell artists. You might not have the hottest song today, but listen, the very moment you blow, people will go back and start searching for all the other songs you released. And that's when they realize that, oh, he had other great songs. So there's a business to the music. And I'll just pray that when you find your niche, as in, this is the kind of music I want to do, something that gives you that inner satisfaction, you make sure that it doesn't just end there, but you look at the business side to it. If you lack anything, you need maybe some clarification or anything, speak to others. One thing I've realized in this industry is that people are selfish. They want to keep things to themselves. They never want to share because, Charlie, and that's why the industry is always not growing. People say there's no industry. I mean, however I want to describe it, we still have a music scene. So just make sure that you are doing the right thing, start off the right foot. If you lack anything, ask people who know about it. I'm pretty sure you will start and eventually make music and make money from your music. I don't know if there's anything anybody wants to ask. Am I allowed to take questions? Maybe some 3 questions? 3. Okay, I'm allowed to take 3 questions. Maybe there's something I didn't touch on. Maybe ask. It will draw my attention to it, then I'll just attend to it. Yes.